Jesus said, "Man cannot live on bread alone, but from every word that proceeds from the mouth of God." You're listening to Daily Truth.
Lastly, I said I would land the plane back on this idea of covenant, not the new covenant, which is established through Christ for individual people in terms of eternal salvation and justification by grace alone, through faith alone, in Christ alone. Not the new covenant, and also not the old covenant, and speaking of the covenant of works established with Adam. And yet, I still believe that outside of the covenant of works and outside of the covenant of grace, there are still other covenants that we have today. Marriage I cited simply as one example. And for the Christian, any covenant that we're a part of must be a Christian covenant. So back on that point, landing the plane not only on that point, but the sermon as a whole, I've written this. The circumcision of Israel and their following observance of the Passover signify the renewal of the covenant between Israel and God. In a similar fashion, my prayer is that in my lifetime, I might be granted the privilege of witnessing a renewal of the covenant between America and God. This would not be the new covenant, which God reserves only for individuals by regeneration. Neither would this be the old covenant, which God uniquely established with Israel according to the flesh under the Old Testament. And yet, to insist that nations today cannot establish any covenant with a triune God is a foolish notion. Not only is it possible, but I believe in the case of America, it has already been done. Therefore, the goal of every Christian in America should not be Make America Christian, but MACA, Make America Christian Again.
Whoa, you're going to want to hear this. Our next two conferences are coming up quick. We've got first our fall conference. This is November 11th and 12th. That's a full day Saturday and a holdover for the Lord's Day, November 12th. Who's speaking at this conference? Well, we've got Jared Longshore and Chris Wiley and yours truly, Pastor Joel Webben. What's the title? The title is The Household and the War for the Cosmos. Now, I know you're thinking, wait a second, you can't use that title, Joel. That's the title for Chris Wiley's book. Well, I can use it because he's going to be there speaking and he gave me his permission. We're going to be talking about the household as the basic building block for pushing back the kingdom of darkness in this world. We're going to be talking about biblical patriarchy. We're going to be talking about marriage and parenting, how to keep your kids, how to shape and form them like straight arrows, like sharp arrows that do damage to the kingdom of darkness, training our children in the fear and admonition of the Lord. A full day on Saturday, November 11th, and then holding Jared Longshore over for the Lord's Day, November 12th, to preach at my church, Covenant Bible Church in Central Texas. You can register at the early bird rate, which will not last long, but you can register at the early bird rate today by going to rightresponseconference.com. Again, that's rightresponseconference.com. Now, our second conference is our spring conference. This is Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, March 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. The title for this conference, Blueprints for Christendom 2.0. Blueprints for Christendom 2.0. We don't want to revert back to Christendom 1.0, although it would certainly be a whole lot better than the clown world that we're currently living in. But we recognize, despite the phenomenal features of a prior Christendom, there were certain bugs that we'd like to see worked out. So we're not going back. We are pushing forward to Christendom 2.0. We believe that the blueprints are 7 doctrines for ruling the world righteously. What are these 7 doctrines? Well, it's Reformed confessionalism, it's covenant theology, it's biblical patriarchy, it's presuppositionalism and Kuyperianism, and general equity theonomy and hopeful eschatology, postmillennialism. Who's going to be teaching us on these doctrines? Voldemort, he who must not be named, Pastor Douglas Wilson himself. You also got Mr. Bright Hearth, Mr. King's Hall, Mr. Haunted Cosmos, Pastor Brian Sauvé. And we also have Dr. Joseph Boot, and of course, yours truly, Pastor Joel Webben. We'll be doing 7 primary lectures as well as 2 90-minute panels with all the speakers together, and we'll likely add a couple more speakers along the way. Again, that's March 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It's Blueprints for Christendom 2.0. We've got the early bird rate going right now, but it will run out quickly. So go to rightresponseconference.com, rightresponseconference.com to register today.